but never again, let something float. But definitely throwing things, you tend to underestimate the effects of gravity. You know what's really harder though is throwing something in space straight, because that is a hard thing to not to to compensate for not having gravity. You always wind up lofting everything. And the second part of the question, I forget now.
I think what muscle groups were affected?
Oh, muscle groups, most of them.
My body hurts from my head down to my toes, from my knees up to my nose. My body hurts.
I think virtual reality has a lot of potential. With the device you mentioned, we were doing a test, and it has had cameras on it, and we could also see like a display that's in your field of view, where the person on the ground could be drawing things in your field of view and pointing to things, and I could be doing the same thing. Like, if you're trying to do a maintenance procedure, I could say, hey, is this the bolt or connector you're talking about? And the person can just write an arrow in your field of view. And it worked great. I was really surprised that we messed around with it for like 2 hours, and immediately I sensed this is a capability we could use right now. You could put a procedure in your field of view, maybe off to the side, and then be working on something and just glance right up at it, or even looking through it. You can change the opacity of the procedure so it's right in your field of view. It's pretty impressive. So I think it's got great, not only this device, but just the technology in general has got great potential for applications, not only in space, but of course on Earth as well. As far as it messing with you vestibularly, it actually has a game on it where it has like alien spaceships coming inside the space station, and there's these like aliens attacking you. You gotta shoot them with your finger, and we were playing around with that a little bit too, and that didn't seem to make anyone sick. It was kind of fun.
Hi, thanks very much. Scott, you took some really beautiful pictures of the planet while you were up there. And just was wondering.
Well, we lost the first one, the orbital, well before I got there, and then we lost the. So we kind of started out at a little bit of a deficit right when I got on board for certain things, and then when we lost the Progress, it affected us some more. It affected the Russians more than us, but in the end, it'll affect all of us, in that we'll share things if we have to. Precious. But that was one vehicle, so we have a lot of redundancy. We have other vehicles that can resupply us. But then when the SpaceX mishap happened, then it was like, okay, well, now if the next one really does have to work, or we're going to be, I'm sure we would have figured something out. But there's a plan for us to go down to like reduced rations if you have to. So we would all have gotten a little skinnier, and we would have had to make certain things last longer. I'm sure we would have figured it out. NASA does a very good job at rising to the occasion when we have to. But if that HTV wouldn't have worked, it would have really affected our quality of life on board for some time.
I know you're confused right now. I can explain everything, but you gotta trust me, okay? Listen, you're in terrible danger.
I would say it was very consistent with my last flight from a subjective point of view. We were collecting more data this time on board, so...
What do you want to say?
We'll have a little bit better insight to, when those changes occurred, and how they were in flight versus on the ground. But I don't think that, at least subjectively, it was much different than my last experience, which is kind of in the beginning you notice some changes and then it kind of levels off. And in this case, kind of stayed the same way for just about the whole flight.
Yeah, real niggas all day, just me, by myself.
Yeah, the reason I was eager to jump in the pool is because even though I took a shower in Canada, I hadn't had running water in 340 days, and it's something you really miss. Actually, my cosmonaut colleague, Misha Kornienko, that's one of the things he always cited as what he wanted to do too, is go swimming, get, water around you. It's just, we make do with not having a shower on board, and it's not like you feel dirty, but you definitely feel like you would like to jump in a pool, so I did.
That aliens really stink, like the mildew in your kitchen sink.
I said it was in Texas.
Yeah. What was the other question?
Can you repeat the second part of your question?
When 6 months, when you get there, you can kind of see the end. You think, okay, I launched in October, I'm coming back in March. I can envision getting there. But when you launch in March and you're thinking about coming back the next March, it is not something that you can really comprehend. I remember, because I think the perfect duration for a space flight is somewhere on the order of, 2.5 to 3 months. And when you get to 2.5 to 3 months, you think, I've really been here for a long time, and know that you have, 9 months to go. That's kind of hard to kind of get your head around. As far as coming back, I'm kind of surprised how I do feel different physically than the last time, with regards to like muscle soreness and joint pain and the skin issue. So that was something that was kind of unexpected for me. I figured, it'll probably be a little bit different, but it's more than just a little bit different.
Welcome back, Scott. I'm wondering what it is that you are going to miss about being in space. Is there anything you're really going to miss about being up there?
Absolutely. Many things. I think the most important or the most significant one is the thing I like about it the most, and that is something that doing this job is something that's very, very challenging, very difficult. And then, working hard at it, and then just being, fulfilled by your success. And you could find that, if I never fly in space again, I'll find that in other areas of my life, but not in this kind of way, where the implications of you, messing things up are so severe. That makes it, in my case, more rewarding. It's kind of like, why I wanted to be a pilot in the Navy and land on the aircraft carrier. It's not because I thought landing on the aircraft carrier would be fun. It's because I knew that it was hard and there was risk and it was important, and thereby, for me, rewarding. Well, I'll never be done with space. I will always be involved. Whether I fly in space again, even my brother, who's been retired for a bunch of years, he still hasn't given up the idea that he's going to fly in space again. So if I don't do it with NASA, I doubt I would fly again with NASA having, have the most time in, in space by any American. I mean, we have so many talented people in our office.
They do the Harlem Shake.
There's no reason to fly me again. They could fly somebody else that hasn't had as much opportunity to do that. And so but I don't think I would ever say I'm absolutely 100% done, because I think there's a lot of exciting possibilities out there, and maybe in the commercial aspect certainly, and they might need a guy like me someday, or someone else, or I don't know. Maybe in the next 20 years you'll be able to just buy a cheap ticket, go for a little visit. What have I learned personally about spending a year in space? I was amazed, and I was thinking about this when I was backing away in the Soyuz, is just, what an incredible achievement that this space station is, and this program is. How hard it is to build something like that and operate it for the last 15 years, and how we benefit from it by doing these very, very difficult things, technically and operationally challenging things. And it's, that's the main thing. I kind of knew that, going into it, but just experiencing it every day for 340 days really, hit home for me. Just how, if we put our mind to it, we can achieve things that, would seem impossible. Like if you would have said to somebody, 30 years from now, hey, here's a picture of the space station, and we're going to build and keep it manned for 15 years and do all this science and other operations.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy. I like you, but you're crazy.
Some people would have been like, are you crazy? That's not. It's 1 million pounds, the size of a football field. The internal volume of, some say, a 6-bedroom house with, these life support systems that turn our urine into water.
And the only thing I can do is to drink my own pee.
The water into oxygen. We drink the water. It's practically a closed-loop system, using only the power from the sun.
So let's see if it'll melt some metal. It looks like it's melting it already.
It's just an incredible achievement that I think everyone involved in it, including the people that pay for it, the taxpayers, should be very proud.